Are we live?
We are live.
What's up, everyone?
How are ya? Let us know that you can hear us.
I know, right? Give a little thumbs up, right? Is that the first one? Thumbs up?
Yeah. Drop a thumbs up, a smiley face,
a heart.
Yeah. Little something. Let us know that you can hear us. We are live today.
That's right.
Jesse, I'd like you to start off.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce it. So thanks everyone for tuning in. This is a new series we're rolling out. Super, super excited about this. So I've actually got Jeff Brogger here. He is my social media guy and my tech guy. And it is really cool. His company is Steezy.Digital. We linked up. We've known each other a long time, actually. Well, right. We've known each other like 2 years, but
years, yeah.
We linked up I don't want to say pretty recently, within the last, I guess, 6 months maybe?
Right.
Yeah, like 6 months. But this guy's extremely impressive. And I thought, who better to really help facilitate this first ever business insider tip. So basically what I want to start rolling out and producing is sharing with the real estate community, all the people who help San Diego Real Producers, all of our partners who fund this and make this, come to fruition. But I wanted to give the inside scoop on them, their business, who they are, where they're going with their business, what's on the forefront for them, and give you guys the background of that business and that person. So I'm super grateful that you're here helping me kick this off. This is awesome. And if you're seeing it obviously, but this is rad. We're actually in Carlsbad, but it's cool. And this is actually Jeff's home, and they've created this really awesome space for podcasting and just it's just like a tech central hub, and this is just like really cool. We've got like the foam things that like so you guys can hear us, so it's not a lot of echoing and reverb, hopefully.
Yeah.
Reverb. See,
yeah.
He's the music guy. He knows what that, I'm like, I don't know what that is really. But I have a bunch of questions we're gonna go through and just kind of kick it off and chat and just share with people. I want to, I'm even curious. I'm gonna learn a lot in this segment too. So this is really great for me too. So I can help promote your business and introduce you to agents and real estate affiliates and people that really need your services. Because I know I'm very grateful to have you on board with us, because you really are, this tech genius that I'm driving the business in a one direction, and you're like, but don't forget about this whole massive direction of social and how we can really stay relevant. And it's been really cool. So again, thank you. And first off, tell us who you are and a little bit of, it'll be organic, but tell us about you, your company. You can kick it off. You can go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jesse. You're amazing. So myself, I am Jeff Brogger, and company's name is Steezy.Digital. So the story behind that is that it actually started as a digital marketing agency a couple years ago, and we were serving everybody, doing everything. Right. We were kind of going shallow and wide with all of our services, and we realized, okay, this isn't scalable, and we're not really serving anyone to a high degree. Mm-hmm. So what we did is totally rebranded this year. We decided that, okay, we have at least some contacts in real estate. I'm a real estate investor myself, and I've also taken real estate courses in college, things like that. It's been something that's been in my life for a while. Mm-hmm. Plus, I have a direct sales background, so I resonate with the process of calling, going through bad leads, getting the good leads, the emotional roller coaster. Right. And now that I have the digital knowledge that I do today, it's like, okay, how could we serve them? Mm-hmm. How could we make their lives easier? Mm-hmm. And that's when we rebranded as a technology company that's not meant to replace the realtor, but assist them in automating the things in the process that are tedious and repetitive and the parts of your job that you hate.
Right.
And then that way you're talking to clients more, you're getting more FaceTime, you're having more high converting conversations.
Right.
So that's where Steezy.Digital came in.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, so Steezy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was my next question about the name of the business.
Steezy is a surf skate term.
That's right. I know all about Steezy.
It means style with ease. Mm-hmm. Surfing and snowboarding, skating, they're one of the few sports that are judged on style. So it's subjective to the judges.
Totally.
And so that's a big part of it.
Yeah. I love it. As soon as I saw when we chatted, I was like, Steezy. I was like, what an awesome name. And it totally goes with your personality, like you said, skater, snowboarder, surfer. So I was like, all right, dude, I love the brand, and it's fun, it's hip, it's young, it's awesome. I love it. So by the way, when you talked about you were serving the masses of people, I guess, with marketing. Your background a little bit in real estate and having an interest in it. Other than that, did you just what was the main reason to just really only focus on the niche in real estate?
Yeah, great question. I think that one of it was that real estate is a high ticket sale, right? It's one of the biggest purchases that someone will ever make. And one of my fundamental beliefs is that if something isn't working, then there has to be a better way.
Right.
So the blast method of marketing, the impersonal one message to many people, it hasn't been working for a long time.
Right.
Same with, say, email for lead nurture. You know, there's a reason why less than 20% of people are opening email anymore.
Right.
It's a flooded channel,
right.
and it's just not as good as it used to be. So to answer your question, the reason why I really wanted to do real estate is because what better way to serve humanity than to help facilitate the biggest purchase someone will ever make and make it more personal, make the communication and the lead nurture and the follow-up more personal and direct to that person's experience. And with the technology that's available today, you can do that. You can have individual follow-up as opposed to like the same lead nurture campaign that's been used for 15 years and it's going out via email. So that aligns with one of my values.
Yeah.
It's a better way, and it's really facilitating people through a process that is a huge life decision for them.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I love that because it goes back to the real big reason why.
Yeah,
you know, it's not about money. It's not about the stuff. It's like this is their biggest purchase they're going to make in their entire life.
Right.
And it hits the heart, you know?
Absolutely.
So I also want to talk a little bit about your hustle, because I attract, and I feel like I attract hustlers, but I also want to be around people who hustle. And we connected. We've known each other through our past company. So tell me a little bit about that, because right before we started, you told me about that story, and I think it is important to talk about, you know, what we did before. And some people, as you guys all know too, like sometimes you're gonna connect and find people that that don't want to grind. And a lot of times we won't want to hire that person.
Right.
You know, and you followed up with me too, to the point where I was like, oh, okay, like I need to see what he's up to. I need to see what this Steezy.Digital's about. And okay, can you fill me in? And I'm still constantly asking questions, because every single time we meet, frankly, you're blowing my mind. Like every single time I'm like, I didn't know we could do that. And like, he really is this crazy social tech genius. It's just, oh, I'm so excited. But tell us a little bit about the hustle behind it, and you know, why, I guess, why is it exciting? It's going to be a beneficial thing for people to work with you,
right?
Based on your hustle.
Thank you so much. Happy to. So I was raised in San Diego in a middle-class family, you know, nothing crazy special. And my dad said, I'll put a roof over your head, but you want some nice things, you got to work for it. So
taught you the values from the early.
Right. So I had 2 jobs in high school, sometimes 3. And when I had my senior year of summer, I was recruited by Cutco.
Yep.
So I got the call, went in for the interview, realized that, wow, I could actually make more money at this job than all the other 3 combined.
Right.
So at my first summer wasn't that great. Honestly, I was a new rep and I was leaving for college in a month. But I had a huge incentive, big why, because I was paying for college myself. So when I did the first month, went to school, I realized, oh, college is way more expensive than I thought.
Right.
I actually had a reorder towards the end of the year, towards Thanksgiving, from someone over summer, and that gave me enough money in my bank account to put gas in my truck and get home for winter break.
Oh, wow.
A reorder.
Really? Like, thank you.
Yeah. And then
client.
Yeah, right. And then I was doing the math, and I was like, I couldn't pick up enough shifts over winter break to pay for spring semester. It's impossible. I can't pick up enough shifts at a restaurant to do it.
Right.
So I showed up at the Cutco office, and it was a really interesting moment, because I walked in, even though there were hundreds of reps over summer, they remembered my name. They're like, hey, Jeff, good to see you.
Yeah.
Right. And I had remembered over summer, they said, if there's ever a time in your life that you need to make a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time, let us know. We'll help you break down the math and show you how many phone calls you need to make. And so at that point I said, I need $3,000 by December 31st. And they said, okay. And they, manager stopped everything, sat down, did the math, and said, you need to make this many phone calls between now and then. There are this many days. If you want to take Christmas, New Year's Eve, and that off, then there's this many days left. Here's how many phone calls you need to make every day.
Wow.
And so I did. It was something like 60 to 70 calls a day.
Right.
And I did what they said. And I was like, you know what? If this system isn't going to work, it's not going to be because of my lack of effort. I'm going to give it everything that they say it takes.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, I'm going to prove them that it doesn't work based on their system.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just going to go in full faith. And turns out I made the calls, put in the action, delayed gratification, right? Because it doesn't happen all at once.
Right.
You got to, it's like a well, you got to start pumping, nothing happens. And you're just like, oh my gosh. But I stayed attached to the actions, and then bam, all of a sudden the sales came. I went back to school. I could pay for spring semester. So that really tied early in my life as an 18-year-old.
How long did you work for Cutco?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. Most of the reps last 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
So
they say, and it's not just because I sold Cutco too, but Cutco's got some great sales training and the basics of sales training.
For sure.
In fact, if I ever reproduce and have kids, like they're totally going to sell Cutco. Seriously, I really think that they should, because like you learn phone skills, you learn calling,
absolutely,
you learn in-person skills, you learn how to handle objections or say no or hear no, and how to handle no's. So yeah, it's like the basics, but.
And so I think it's also a great filter. So those that come in, it really filters out the leaders and the ones that are super driven and want it.
Right.
Because I found that the ones that stuck, we vibed.
Yeah.
Kind of like you and I.
Yeah, totally.
Where it's like, okay, we have these huge goals and we're breaking them down into daily actions.
Right.
And we're going towards them every day.
Right.
That's rare.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right. It's kind of like that cream rise to the top.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So that was just some early stuff. And then it's funny, the story that I was telling Jesse, just to kind of wrap up that part of my story in my life, is that spring break, that spring semester, I didn't have enough money to make it to May in order to like get through the spring semester. And my friends really wanted to go to Havasu for spring break. I had the truck. So we drove out from NAU to Havasu. I dropped them off to go party for spring break. And I continued on to San Diego to make 100 phone calls a day and pay for school.
Wow.
And then come back to school.
What college? Like, heck, I'm not sure I have the discipline to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that would have to be like planned. Like, I know that I'll be back out there. I had a blast.
Nothing was planned. Yeah.
No, and it's funny because I finally just went to Lake Havasu myself a few months back. I had a blast. I couldn't believe. I'm like, I want a lake house. I want to live out here. Like,
right.
Man, it was really awesome. Like, it was like. I didn't get to grow up experiencing that kind of stuff. So, right. But I love that story because it shows you even from early on, you're like, you know, you're going to hustle regardless. You're going to figure out how to do it. And especially if there's an action plan, you're just going to follow the plan.
Right.
You know,
during that time though, I noticed all the inefficiencies in the old school sales process. So then as I grew my digital marketing and my technology knowledge, I saw all these opportunities to innovate. And that's why I do what I do today.
Right.
It's to help the reps that are doing what I used to do, which is slam the phone. Just call more people. It's like, okay, well, what if you could attract people to you that are raising their hand to work with you and already know, like, and trust you?
Yeah, man, no, your social platform. I'm just like, even what you've shown me so far, I'm already like, and I know we've just scratched the surface.
Right.
We've really scratched the surface. So I want to go back to Steezy.Digital. I want to ask you a question about myth busting. Is there any myths that you want to, around social media, that are coming to your mind that you kind of want to dispel or like just make right?
Awesome question. And there is not only social media, but the other side of it, which I've treaded very lightly because I heard that the chatbot movement with real estate blew up right when they were released. And then not a lot of people really saw success with it early on. And so I've treaded lightly talking about chatbots and this and that. It's more like, okay, this is a system. That's a part of it. So the myth that I would like to dispel is that potentially the people that first jumped on chatbots for real estate didn't do it right. They were looking at it with the wrong lens or the wrong expertise. And then also the chatbot that we introduced, it's not going to sell a home for you. This is not to talk to your customers less. This is to qualify and talk to the right people more.
Got it.
So that's, I think, the biggest myth is that
it worked, or it when it first came out, oh, it doesn't work anymore, so I'm just going to go back to my traditional ways.
Right. But potentially they didn't have it executed in the proper way,
right,
or they didn't put it in the proper place in their business.
Right. Well, let's stop right there and go a little, this is a very simple question.
Sure.
But I'm sure people that are listening in are going to go, oh, I'm so glad she asked that. explain what a chatbot is at
Sure.
its basic level. So
Thank you.
that way, like everyone's like, okay, chatbot, I've heard of it. Because even with when we talked about, it, I'm like, okay, I've heard of chatbots,
Yeah.
but explain what that is.
100%. So it helps to have visual cues, but I'm just going to go for it. The simplest way to put it, I think, is that Facebook Messenger is the #1 messaging platform in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's possible to gather data on your most common questions that you're having with customers.
Okay.
The real questions that truly come up 80% of the time.
Right.
It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your conversations are going to be very, very similar, especially if you're doing a product or a service-based business, because people have, it's called a frequently asked questions list, essentially, right?
Right.
So once you've interacted with people on your page enough and you realize that, you can actually have those responses that you've typed out automatically delivered to the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person that has that same question.
So it's like a frequently asked questions,
except
that is a robot, essentially.
Yep.
When they say yes to a question or whatever it is, I'm just being simple.
Yeah.
Whatever you probe to answer for yes, it just programs it in so that it's doing it for you, so that you're not the one that has to log back in and answer every single one of these people's questions, or
especially when it's the same.
Right, when it's exactly the same.
Right. And so the real world application for that in real estate, because I'm sure now that's the question is, okay, we kind of get what it is. Now, why would we use it?
Right.
I find it phenomenal for lead qualification, but I think the biggest thing is that it captures a new lead's intent. So intent is like their interest in the first 5 minutes of them clicking on your brand online. There's like a 3 to 5 minute period where they're like scrolling through your stuff and they're interested in what you're doing, right? So if they click and they start interacting with your chatbot, that captures that interest and it gives them personalized feedback on their questions immediately.
I see.
Right? In the moment.
Right.
So our attention spans are scarce. They're so short now.
Right.
So instead of them going to a lead form, which is like first name, last name, email, phone, hey, we'll give you this PDF. Then it sends to their email and they skip through 5 other apps, right?
Right.
They're still interacting with the Realtors brand. So they're typing back and it's a really powerful moment, because in that time, say then they get a call from the realtor and they're still interacting with their brand. And it's such a powerful handoff because their mindset is still engaged with the Realtors brand.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just basically taking it from where you're going to lose them potentially, and they're interacting, and then again, instead of losing them because they're like, oh, okay, again, I've got a million other things to do, I got to go, and they get off it. Instead, they could stay on it, and this actually replies back.
Yes, and that's only
without you having to.
Right, exactly. Or an ISA, who maybe the ISA isn't as trained because they're trainees, they're in real estate courses, right? Maybe they don't know how to respond as the lead broker would. So that's who we serve, our lead top 1% real estate brokers. And we install this for their entire team. But what we do is we do an onboarding call with the broker so that his or her language, the pitch that they've perfected over 20 years, that is what the lead hears every single time.
Right. So it is in fact coming from that person, that real estate agent.
Totally. This isn't cookie cut. Here you go. Have fun.
Right. It's a custom chatbot. It is essentially your feedback, your answer to your question when someone says, when the client asks whatever question they're asking.
Right.
I love it.
And that's only a piece of it.
Right.
A lot of companies, they'll give you a basic bot and lead with that, and that's their only product. This is one piece of a whole system that helps to drive traffic to the bot, but then also integrate it with the Realtor CRM, which is what they're used to seeing, right? They don't even have to change systems. That boom, the lead integrates directly with their CRM.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And instead of using email, which we capture as well, but instead of using email to lead nurture, now you can lead nurture through Facebook Messenger.
Right.
And just how you used to do email autoresponders that automatically send out, you can do this through Messenger now, but you have to have the chatbot in place.
Right.
So that automatically will deliver a lead nurture message 2 days later. And here's the key. Why switch from email? Well, email gets sub 20% open rates. Facebook Messenger gets over 80% open rates.
Wow.
People open their Facebook Messenger.
All the time.
So you're getting your message to the customer.
Yeah. Find
And
out who your market is and if that's where they're spending their time. Like,
Yeah.
where are people's eyeballs?
Yeah, and
Where are your clients' eyeballs?
And what is that telling you as well, right? If the market is going away from email, that's telling you something.
Right.
It's telling you that people are sick of being spammed and blasted.
Right.
So what is it telling you? That 80% of the people's eyeballs are on Facebook Messenger? It's a better way.
Right. And I think for everyone listening now more than ever, I mean, this is what you're I don't want to say preaching, but this is what you're practicing. This is what your business is fundamentally like based on. As we all know, things are changing. You can't continue to do the same thing you were doing in the last 10 years anymore. You have to evolve and change and just pay attention. It's really kind of basic, but again, if people want to put their head in the sand and just like keep doing what they're doing, you can still make a ton of money. Trust me, you're still going to do well
for
a while. Right. But like, to be ahead of the curve, that's why I'm linking up with you, man. I need to get ahead of like whatever is on us right now and just find the next best way. Because when I realized that, you know, the very small percentage of people that are opening up email, heck, I even created a partner for just my partners, literally a partner Facebook group that's private for just the people that partner with San Diego Real Producers, just as a way to communicate with them, because I realized that I'm sending them email and they might be getting it, but they might not.
Super key. And I want to really emphasize that point. These are people who are paying to be in your magazine, who want to hear updates from you, and you send them email and they still don't. What about a lead? That's, you know, So this is the entire purpose. And it's smart that you're partnering with someone like me. And I don't say that to be trite. I say that because into the next 2 to 5 years, are you going to be saying, wow, we should have done that? Or are you jumping on it? Because Facebook, I just went to a conference. I was one of 1,000 people to be invited to the first ever chatbot conference. Executives from Facebook were there. And here's a tip. This is part of what we offer clients is advanced training, because they can't go to all these conferences. They don't get invited to them. Here's what Facebook, almost 3 billion users in the world, this is what they're focusing on in the next 2 to 5 years. 2 things: video and growing Messenger. That's it. That's their primary focus for the next 2 to 5 years. So if a company with all that resources, all that traffic is going to be focusing on those 2 areas, you better be dominating those 2 areas.
No, and that's exactly why I'm linking up, because without a doubt, most importantly too, and that's why I ask you a lot of questions, more than anything, I want to be educated. So I'm asking the expert so that I'm like, hey, fill me in on how this stuff works. I even asked him like how to boost an ad, And it was something simple, but for me, I want to know how to do these things. And yeah, it's just 100%. Like, you're a massive necessity. This business, what you're building, how you interact. It's just check. I don't know.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, I get excited. So, talk to me about a piece of advice that has served you well working with realtors.
So, great question. A piece of advice that served me well working with realtors. I think about advice from clients. I think about more so what comes to me is the training that I've received prior to working with realtors, honestly. So, you know him too, the division office manager of San Diego for years, right? One of my first mentors, Wes, one of his biggest sayings is cursum proficio. It's Latin for stay the course. And that has really just permeated every area of my life, but especially this one, because I realized that realtors are very sold to. Everyone's trying to sell a new lead gen thing or a new this or a new that. And so I've become very patient in the results from our company and just know that, hey, we have a phenomenal product and we serve each client to the highest degree, and it's going to catch on. It's having confidence in that and staying the course and not getting desperate in business development or cutting corners and trying to bring on 1 million people. It's like, no, we have some amazing clients and we're going to grow every day, right? And it might be in serving that client better, and then they give us a referral. But at the end of the day, like, I just need to stay the course. Like, I believe in this. I've set a path. It's been proven with multiple high level clients. What do I have to worry about? Stay the course. Because again, you know, if I have conversations with realtors that are very sold to and they have all these other options out there, they're salespeople too, right? So some of these calls where I'm doing a strategy session, I'm consulting them. If I didn't stay the course, just person, they could get discouraging. But I'm just in it for the long run. And I told you that from the beginning. You were one of the first people. Actually, you were the first lunch I had when I decided, hey, to companies pivoting,
specific to real
estate's it.
Yeah.
Jesse, let's get lunch.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, and I was, again, I couldn't be more happy about it, about the partnership, and about introducing you to this group. Because and it's mostly, again, I personally haven't met someone who's as dialed into social and tech as you are. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people out there, but you're right here in San Diego. You're right here in Carlsbad. Like, you are our market. And already from the party that we had last week, you know, we've had a couple people reach out and say, oh, whatever Jeff did at your party, I want that same thing for our event coming up. Can you introduce me? And that was just you, like, helping me on social and literally just making sure that we were really capturing our event and doing it in a purposeful, very strategic way to help my business page, to help my clients, to help real estate agents to drive this focus. So yeah, it's awesome, man.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you too, what's a tip that you can give to real estate agents in working with you? Not so much how to reach out to you, I can connect you on social, but like, what's a tip for them for working with your company?
Okay, so with that question, I kind of want a little bit more clarity. So if you could explain it a little bit more. So a tip with working with me, does that mean, you mentioned not how to get in touch, but I'm just not really sure what exactly that means. So
yeah, so I guess, like, yeah, I can elaborate. So when it comes to working with your company, what kind of real estate agent would be best for your company? You know what I mean? Like, is it do you have a ideal client that you want to work with?
Yes.
I'm sure the answer is yes, but just, is that
No, and that's now that I have more clarity, this is a phenomenal question. Who's right? Who can I help the most? Is at the end of the day, who can we serve? We found that there's a common thread that goes through most of the high producing realtors today and the real estate brokers. And so the tip is that if you've mastered real estate, mastered the real estate game, you have an attractive personality, you've attracted a team around you, you're a top 1% broker, chances are one of your big areas of improvement is digital. Because you're probably 40, 45, 50 years old, you've crushed it the old school way, and now you're looking to improve. You're either going to stick with your guns and do it how you've always done it, or you're going to bring on someone who's mastered digital. So that's our ideal client. You know, we help guys that are doing, and women as well, that are doing 100, 200, 300 homes a year with their team, and they've mastered how to take care of customers, how to follow up, how to, you know, give them an item of value every quarter, how to every Christmas make sure to send something to your top clients, right? Like, they have all of that in place, and now they need some systems which can digitally and technologically streamline and increase all the good systems that they have in place.
By the way, if you're not even in San Diego, you can work with some. You're not just San Diego based business. You are here in San Diego,
right?
But you can work with any company. Tell us a little bit about, like, your client you're telling me in Vegas, right?
Yeah. So our top client's out in Vegas. Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy, love him. He has an amazing brand. He sells about 300 homes a year.
Is that how you connected with Bobby at that event?
Yeah.
Oh, no, right on. Okay, I saw you guys, and I was like, I know I think he's the guy who got Bobby Martins into real estate.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it was a really small world that I was in Vegas for an event that Aaron invited me to, and one of the first people I meet at the door is Bobby Martins.
You guys take a selfie. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
You guys know each other. It's awesome.
I'd seen him in the community. He was on the cover that month. It was like August or whatever it was.
Yeah. Okay, so go back to it. So
Aaron.
You could work with anyone, anywhere within the U.S.
Right. So Canada, I guess, would be another option.
Okay. Yeah.
We're U.S. focused right now.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. And no, I just want to point that out. Just if someone's watching and they're like, I need this in my life, but I live in Boston,
right?
Where, you know, a big part of my network was for a long time,
right.
Or or they're like listening in and they're like, oh, so and so needs this, so they want to introduce you to someone in another part of the country. We can do that.
Awesome.
So where do you see, and I love asking this question because this is kind of fun for this like just the world we're in right now. Where do you kind of see the future of real estate going? Yeah, like where do you see it going?
Great question.
Because no one really knows, but we all kind of know. Like it's this interesting, fun question.
Okay, so there are some technology companies coming out that are attempting to replace the agent, and they're trying to do no agent listings and things like that.
Right.
That's not our vision for the future, and that's why we've structured our technology company to help the agent. Again, it's the largest purchase someone will ever make. They need a consultant. They need someone who cares, who knows their situation, and who knows the market to guide them through it, not only financially, but emotionally. So I still see agents being a part of the future of real estate 100%. I do see more and more trend towards, and this is statistical, people going to the internet first for their home search, and also using their mobile device more and more as data gets better, as the screens get better. You know, that you can stream a 4K video walking to your yoga class, right? And people are increasingly on social platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
The millennial generation was the largest generational home buyer this year and last year, and that will only increase as we get older and our buying years we get into more prime buying years.
Right.
So with all that being said, it's going to be a big focus on digital social platforms, being on top of mind awareness, not in the old school ways of like, hey, I got to be on the radio and I got to be on the email and all this, but being an influencer on Instagram in your local community, so that you're showing up in discovery and people know that if you're in La Mesa and you need a home, that's the guy. I see him all the time, right? And so I think, in my opinion, it's going to increasingly go towards social as a brand awareness piece. And then you're going to need to be on those platforms as well, sharing high quality content like video. And that way you'll be able to attract the clients that are perfect for you. They can see all the things you're posting. They can get to know you. They can like you. They can learn to trust you over social.
Right.
And then when they're ready to get in the market, they'll reach out to you.
Right.
And you'll have a funnel ready, right? You'll have all the pieces in place to where when they do that one click, bam, all of a sudden you're retargeting their Facebook newsfeed for 6 months and you're on their newsfeed and you have everything in place once they do raise their hand.
I love that, man. Talk to me too about Instagram. I know you obviously know what you're talking about and doing with Instagram. You obviously know Facebook and the chatbots. And is Instagram a big focus for you? Is it something that people should be paying attention to more than Facebook, or just like both of them together? Because Instagram is Instagram or Facebook owns Instagram,
right?
Correct. So they're one and the same, but totally two different platforms. So yeah, talk to me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. And this is a deep topic. I've actually written 2 ebooks about Instagram.
That's right. And actually,
I think,
is that the one you're giving away today?
Yes. And so if you're sticking all the way to the end here, I'll be giving a link to get a free download of my Mastering Instagram Growth ebook, Volume 1.
I love it.
And that's how I've broken Instagram by building multiple brands. I've broken it down to 8 fundamentals. You can use it on any brand in any industry, and it works in real estate too. So Aaron Taylor, he started with 500 followers, and he's well over 4,000 now, 4,500, and they're local, they're targeted, they're real people. And so it's a strategy, right?
Right.
With Instagram, to answer your question, well, that's what we're giving away for free today, so that'll be at the end. But Instagram, it's...
Thank you for that, by the way.
Absolutely.
Giving people some value up front.
Lead with
I
value.
love that. Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah. So Instagram is a piece of the puzzle. And I keep saying that because it really is. You can't be all in on one thing, but you should be everywhere that you can. And I shouldn't say everywhere. There are about 10 sites that you need to be on as a realtor. And this is not only from my experience, but also talking to top brokers and having them as clients and seeing what they need. So with that being said, Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger are massive. Even though they're all owned by the Facebook corporation, Messenger is an amazing platform to communicate one-on-one. Facebook is awesome for creating groups, creating pages, retargeting with ads, and it gets a lot of the older generation. Instagram is phenomenal for millennials. So if
Like literally what, 30 and under?
no, I mean definitely like 40, and it's a spectrum, right? There's a bell curve, and there are people 45 plus on Instagram, absolutely, but by and far the most popular and most liked social media platform is Instagram, and most people are more likely or more open to discovering a brand on Instagram. They're actually 65% more open and likely to scroll across a brand and be like, oh, interesting, and check them out and view their page and follow them. So with that being said, it's a piece of the puzzle. The way that we use it in our system is that we make the realtor influencer on Instagram in their local market. So we do a lot of work to do local growth hacks, and some of that is in the ebook as well. And so we'll get them 10,000 followers in 6 months. That way they can use the swipe up on the story. It makes them show up in discovery in their area, and they just become a little micro celebrity.
I see.
Right? And that becomes a traffic channel.
It's important for that to be very nichey.
Yes.
In like, if your market is Carlsbad, you want to target Carlsbad. You don't want to say San Diego.
Right.
You want to like be very nichey with that.
Absolutely.
I love it. I think there's so much even in that. Like there's just so much. See, and that's another reason why like I just realized like as you were talking, there's every agent has like a marketing budget. Every business should have like a marketing budget, right?
Yep.
Like we initially talked about when we first chatted, and I was like, that's a great question, right? I have a bunch of ideas to put towards my marketing budget, or where my money should go. But this is what I find really fascinating, because like you said, as more people are found on social platforms, and like you said, it really is about creating this this place to be reached. People, and this is what blows my mind too, is people will see that things I've just been posting and they're like, oh, you're so and so, and I'm like, I've never met this person. And it's fascinating how many people will go, oh, well, I've seen you, and they feel like they know me through my social media, which I find real fascinating, and I love it. I think I'm like, sweet, I don't know you yet, but like I know you kind of now. So like, let's talk. Like, how can I get to know you better? So it really facilitates that. Like, they really will know who you are if you're constantly adding great content and posting and being real too. Like, be you, be real. Whatever that is for you. Some people I know are like, oh, I can never do that. Yes, you can. Like, you can. It depends on your business model, but I'm like, everybody can, and that's what I think too. When I think for people who are maybe tuning in, they're like, I would never be like, I'm not like you, or, oh, I could never get behind the camera. What would you say to someone like that?
Great question. This is one of the things that I really like and respect about you, Jesse, is that you have no shame in being yourself.
No, that's all I got.
That's right.
That's all I can do.
That's right. And me too. And you know what? People overthink content. Here's a paradigm shift. Paradigm shift.
I always overthink content. Like, all right. So much.
Here you go. Gary Vee said it. So that gives it some immediate credibility. He said, don't create content. Document.
Right.
Do amazing things. Right? Do super cool stuff
and document
that you're extremely passionate about, and then document it.
Right.
You don't have to overthink it.
Right. Just do what you were doing every day.
Yeah, you do it every day. You wake up, you do your morning meditation, right? You go and you slam the phones with your team, or you go to an open house, shoot lives, take little stories, write little clever things. If you see something that motivated you that day, share it, right? It's a part of your life that you're expanding to others. And if you're living a life of impact and service, then you will be serving an even greater capacity of people than you could ever possibly talk to individually.
And you never know where you're next. That's always, for me, what is inspiring to me is I never know where my next lead's coming from.
Right. I
never know where my next referral's coming from. I never know where the next conversation's coming from. And that's what I've kind of realized even after this party. I had a handful of people reach out to me, of course, to congratulate, but I had a couple of people that were like, hey, we're ready to do some business.
Right.
We see what you've built and who you're connecting to. We want to get in. We want we want to jump on the coattails. I'm like, jump on, let's go, you know. And I couldn't have done it without being on social. So I think it really does. It comes full circle. You know, it comes full circle.
I have something to add to that as well. It's I think a really good point to set expectations. Social is not something where you're going to go do one Facebook Live tomorrow and boom, all of a sudden you sell your $1 million listing. Facebook leads, even when they click through a lead ad to look for listings in their area under 350,000 or whatever the lead ad says, those people are 3 to 6 months out, right? Facebook, Instagram, social media, this is a long play.
Long play.
So
you stole the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
You build momentum on these platforms. You build a following, and you build a platform. And then as you continue to build momentum and success, people are attracted to it. They're continuing to get those updates as time goes on, right? And then when they are in that moment, when they switch and they make the decision for real estate, okay, we've been kind of on the fringe. Now we're in the market.
Right.
You're on top of mind.
Right.
You're in front of them. You post that next day with your live like you always do every morning.
Right.
And boom, you're the clear choice.
Right.
And that's what you just experienced, right? You've been building this for a year. It's taken a lot of work. You've done an amazing job at making a splash in a community that you came from Boston, right?
Yeah.
And the East Coast. And so it's like you came in here, grinded, you're super likable. Everyone loves you, Jesse. Everyone loves you. So with that,
I was gonna say I might have some haters, but
that's fine.
I don't know where they're at.
That's another indicator of success.
Bye. No, just kidding.
Hey, it's an indicator of success. And you know what? Now people are so attracted to all of your socials and everything that you're doing. And it's like you said, people walked up and they knew who you were. They knew how your voice sounded because of all the videos and the things that you, right? Like they felt like they knew you.
Right. But it also, and here's the thing. It's like, actually, I called someone the other day and he picked up and goes, oh, I go, hi, this is Jesse Wright. I hope you remember me. He said, how can I forget that voice? And like the point was, I've called him a bunch. So I think for me more than anything is it's just like this isn't replacing what you already have to do every day as a real estate agent, right? You still got to grind and cold call, and not cold call because everyone does their business differently. But my point is you still got to do what you need to do all the time anyway, that you've already been doing that works. This is just one of those things that you, in my opinion, I will preach it every day. And I preach this to the people, other publishers too, in the nation. They watch and sometimes will post like, hey, Jesse, like this was really cool what you did. Or, hey, like I just posted, our October, one of our October features, Bianca and Sarah. They're actually a lesbian couple and had an amazing feature. And I just love them, love who they are, love what they're becoming, what they're about. Like they're doing it totally different. They're actually building their whole business and getting all their leads through Instagram. Through Facebook. Yeah, actually you should link up with them. They are so amazing. And so it was kind of cool because I just posted this and then one of my colleagues in Florida was like, that was so rad. Like what I really love my point is it's not to replace the hard work.
Right.
This is an addition, but I'm super and by the way, people like social for the most part, this stuff is free.
Right.
This is free. Like it's free. I don't know if that even worked. Did that work? My point is, it's free to some extent. Use the platforms, but when you really want to dive in and you really want to take it to the next level and build out a system that will literally bring the buyers and the people that are interested to you, that's where you need to facilitate and have people like Jeff. That's why Steezy.Digital runs his business. Because, and this is what I'm realizing too, just by working with you just this much, like I think we set up something on Instagram, remember? I don't know, it was a month in or 2 months in. And by the way, I didn't expect anything for like years. I don't expect that because I, again, have the long-term vision. Yeah. I know that business doesn't come. It comes as you keep rolling with it. It's the journey. Of who
you become.
It's exactly. It's all this manifestation of other things. But it was fascinating because someone reached out to me and it was because of the system that you built out through my Instagram, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, I have a potential client through Instagram. It blew my mind.
Right.
It blew my mind.
Right.
So, sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but
no, it's great
because I get excited about that.
Yeah,
I get excited.
I think it brings up a great point as well. So I probably should have said this way sooner in the pod or I was gonna say podcast, but in the Facebook Live. I should have said this way sooner. We serve top 1% real estate brokers who have mastered real estate because they want someone who's mastered digital to do it for them.
Right.
They want a done for you system.
By the way, that's exactly what I want.
Right.
I wanted you to just do it.
So that's
train me a little bit when I'm ready.
So that you know what's happening.
Right. So I know what's
and
going
you can
on.
Get better every day.
Right. And give me a little bit of weekly, monthly training. Right. But I didn't want to do anything. I still don't I'm like, you're like, no, Jesse, you still got to create the content and post it. I'm like, oh man, I thought you were going to do that. So my point is, and I love that you said that, if you are who you are and you're a top agent, I know for a fact you don't want to do this or figure out mastering this. I know that you don't want to sit at home and at night and literally study Instagram and Facebook and algorithms and all this stuff that is a massive, like, I couldn't even, that's why I hired you. That's why I hired you.
Thank you. And it's typically not their personality either. You should stay in your genius zone, right? Stay in your lane. So if you're a phenomenal broker and every time you sit down with someone, you close them, do that.
Right.
All that we do is everything else that's necessary to get you more of those high converting conversations.
Right. Straight up.
No. And a lot of it happens to be digital nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Well, and again, it just goes back to, if you're not there and playing in that sphere, you're going to be left behind.
Right.
And I think it does. I mean, everyone knows this, but you're totally right. Like, the fact is, it's timing. It's timing. It's not just, it's not sure it's market timing, but it's the timing of nurturing that relationship when you first met someone. And I think the best brokers, the ones that like everyone that was at our event the other day too, they really understand the power of relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I met someone yesterday, shout out to Joel Bloomfeld and Matt Green, who are on a team with Berkshire Hathaway. They totally get it. And they said nurturing relationships is like their number one goal and their number one, that just what they love doing it because they understand that if I nurtured that relationship with that person, that turns into business, or it turns into a referral, which again turns into business. So
yeah, at the end of the day, people don't buy from businesses, people buy from people.
Yeah, straight up. I love that.
And
people don't buy from business, people buy from people.
People buy from people. And so yeah, it's all about the relationship. Great realtors know that. And those are the people that I want to work with.
Yeah,
right on. I want to work with people that care about people and they really want to serve them to a great degree. They're living their dream by helping someone purchase their dream home, right? Those are the people that I want to help out because I realize that I have a major value add when I can take all the digital stuff off their plate and let them know that it's being done right to the best that the algorithms and all the stuff and all can be leveraged to. Right. And all they have to do is wake up. They can have the best system in place for their team, which is going to make them more efficient, sell more homes. It's going to make them more money. Right. And it's also a lot of the brokers that I talk to, they've reached a level of coaching and personal development to where they're making coaching products and they want to sell, fill seminar rooms and get to the significance and the impact level. And we can help with that too. Right. No, you're totally right. That's all. So that's another thing that's important to note is that if you're a real estate agent or someone who's affiliated within this community, sure, SteezyDigital focuses on that. But if you are a real estate coach, or if you are already mastered real estate, you have a team built out and you're actually shifting a bit in your business and creating something new, you can help them build funnels to attract those people as well. Yes. Man. So like, and that's what I love that you mentioned that, because when we think of it in just one way, sometimes we don't see the bigger picture, right? But exactly, this can evolve. Like, it's not just that one thing. You know, that's why I actually, even like something as little as I bought Jesse at jessywright.com, right? Because, or I bought that and I bought jessywright.com because I was like, regardless of where I go and what I build, I want to create my brand and put whatever that is. So whatever I'm going to sell or be a part of next, you know, I don't even know what that is yet, but whatever that is, like, I'm excited about it because it's going to rock. It's going to be great. And it's awesome because all the things that you are learning through me, I mean, these are universal practices. We specifically apply the language and everything to real estate, but what we do, you know, it's very cutting edge. It's also very universal. And we don't create all this crazy sales collateral and try and take on anyone in the world. You know, we're very niche specific, and that way we can learn our clients' needs best and we can learn their clients' needs best because we're super focused. Right. But what the system that we install yeah, it's a concept of attraction rather than promotion, which is super important,
Yeah,
right?
for real.
You're not with a megaphone from a mountaintop yelling at everyone. you, you're becoming such an attractive personality and human on social media that people raise their hands to work with you.
Right. It really, again, it goes back to that testimonial I had where someone was like, "Hey, I'd like to learn more about this." I was like, "What?"
Right.
You know, like how many more conversations can we have like that? It blew my mind.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. So, let's roll it in. So, anything else you want to share? How can obviously, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? We're gonna tag it in the bio, right?
Right.
Is that what tag it in the bio?
Sure. Yeah.
I
We'll put it in the comments.
in the comments. That's what I meant. The comments. I get confused between it. See, I'm still learning, people. I'm learning a lot, you know, and I don't know. I can't see that far away. Who's like on
who's
or
interacting?
whatever. Yeah, who's
There's
interacting.
definitely some comments flowing through and
So
everything.
yeah. So again, if you're with us to the very end, Jeff's got a really cool ebook. Just again, added value for you guys, and I'm excited. Thanks for sharing that. You already gave me the book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I already have that.
She's already got it. Her Instagram, by the way, how's it going?
Dude, talk to him about your Instagram, guys, because if you really need help with this, which I really did, and he's the one who called it out too, like, hey, I can help you. I mean, it kind of like needs a little help, right? Don't you think? I'm like, but he said it all. Everything you do, by the way, you just do it with such poise and respect. Like you have ultimate respect for people that you talk to. I could tell it how you talk to me. Even if something you're seeing that I'm doing needs changing, you always like say something to me in like a really just a really nice, positive, like encouraging way. So yeah, you're my homie, dude. I love you.
Thank you, Jesse.
Like, I love you.
Yeah. So the last thing I'll say is if you are interested in learning more about any of this, because we talked a lot of high level stuff, and I love where the discussion went. But I mean, it's a deep dive to really dive into where your brokerage is right now, the systems that you already have in place, and then I treat it like a consultant. Like I offer strategy sessions to just dive in. I don't even know if I can help you yet, right? And so how could I like pitch a product right now or quote you? It's like that would be like a doctor prescribing someone something when they don't know the actual need.
Right.
That would be considered malpractice.
Right.
So for me, let's hop on the phone. You can just shoot me a Facebook message on my profile. My profile is linked in the caption here. So shoot me a personal message on my Jeffrey James Brogger Facebook. And then, if you're interested, we can just start chatting. I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to having a conversation and me learning about what you need. And then, if at the end of that, I explain what we have and it makes sense, cool.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Go from there.
Yeah, right on, man. I love it. Yeah. Thank you for doing this. You're the first one.
I know. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. So get ready for more Business Insiders. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this was like a really great whole setup and everything. So hopefully we can keep raising the bar. This was already raised a lot. So
you're awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you. The end.
The end.
The end. Say bye.
That's a wrap.
Okay. Now we have to go over there and shut it off, right? We should show them what we did for the priming exercise.
Yeah. For those of you that stay to the end, we're gonna prime. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We did that.